as Patrick said, it's not a reunion show. It has a through line of very, very exciting, dramatic, sometimes funny, sometimes terrifying, very emotional. It's really well plotted, and I'm thrilled to be involved in it. Obviously,
I am here with Star Trek: The Next Generation, Star Trek Picard, director, actor, legendary Star Trek icon, Jonathan Frakes. Welcome, sir.
the pleasure is mine. Thank you.
Well, let's get started because we've got a lot to talk about. Will Riker, good in bed, bad at pizza, and I presume he hates pancreatic cancer. That's my segue.
Oh, well done. Nice, simple segue and appropriate.
Well,
All true.
All true. Well, we're here to talk about a very important cause to you, which is Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer. Please tell us all about it and how Star Trek fans can help.
My wonderful brother, Daniel Frakes, was diagnosed late, so late. This is 25 years ago, week before. Actually, he died a week before my daughter was born. He was jaundiced. He went into the hospital. They opened him up. It's called a Whipple. You do perform a surgery on pancreatic cancer, which our dear friend Kitty Swink has managed to survive for 19 years. So they opened prepare surgery. They saw what they saw. They closed it back up. They came out and they said, he's beyond hope. You'll be lucky if he lives for 6 months. We're sorry. No alternatives, no explanation, it was brutal. And at that point, there was a 4% survival rate.
Wow.
Now, thanks to PanCan and to the Purple Stride, the march that we're promoting, which is on April 29th, there is a 12% survival rate, which is seemingly insignificant, but three times what it was when my brother died. Mm-hmm. So what we're hoping to do is the Purple Stride is an event that takes place in 60 cities around the country on April 29th. And we marching in LA from the Santa Monica Pier. We raise money to raise awareness, and our goal as the Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer, which is Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark, and Kitty Swink, who's his wife, who also played a couple of characters on Deep Space, Blocks, who's John Billingsley from Enterprise, and myself. We have a group called Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer. So if you go onto the website on PanCan, you make a donation. We would love to raise $90,000 on our team. You could help us out, $5, $10, $15. The objective of raising this money, which they're hoping to get like $19 million, is early detection. There are, at this point, the markers that exist for breast cancer and for prostate cancer are really evolved, and people have a very high survival rate if it's detected early. Pancreatic cancer is the second worst cause of death and second worst cancer in this, and the most unpredictable and brutal. Mm-hmm. And so if we have more money for research and more money dedicated to pancreatic cancer specifically, it not only helps our world, but it helps all cancers. It should be part of a blood test. We all get a blood test when we go to our doctors for our annual checkup. There should be markers in that blood test. What we've been encouraged to spread the word about is that if you are genetically disposed, if someone in your family has had pancreatic cancer, has been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, has died from pancreatic cancer, you need to get specifically checked. If you are over 50 and you surprisingly got diabetes, that could be a precursor. So mentioning to your doctor at your annual checkup that, well, my uncle or my brother or my mom, is a very important thing, and that will flag the doctor to help to specifically check you for pancreatic cancer, which is unfortunately so undetectable and arrives, or is detectable so late that so many people die. That's really the bottom line of it. And this organization, which Kitty had asked me to join a few years ago, has been so productive on so many levels, not just in raising money for research to help the doctors and the researchers, but to provide support to the family of the people who are suffering. In many ways, as Kitty says, the families suffer more than the person with the cancer, because they're more confused and more worried and more, it's not clear what's going on. And the person who's suffering with cancer is taking treatments, and there's a progress. So our plea today is help us out. It's called Purple Stride. It takes place on April 29th. You go into the website, which is called PanCan. You look for the Trek Against Cancer, and you'll find all of us pleading for money in there. Make a donation, $5, $10, whatever it is, and it will go a long way to help all of us.
Just to set the actual website, it's actually purplestride.org/Team Trek to donate and to register for PanCan Purple Stride on Saturday, April 29th, as we said, in Los Angeles and 59 other communities nationwide. And you mentioned also that Armin Shimmerman from Deep Space Nine, Kitty Swink, his wife, who's also a cancer survivor, a pancreatic cancer survivor from Deep Space Nine, and John Billingsley from Star Trek Enterprise are Team Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer this year. This is the third year in a row. Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer will walk at PanCan Purple Stride, if that's correct.
All true.
Fantastic. So once again, please register and donate to walk for this important cause, purplestride.org/Team Trek. Really, really important. My own family, of course, has been hit by cancer as well, as so many millions of families have. So, of course, I can absolutely relate and will donate to this cause. It's so important.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'd like to segue a little bit and ask you about Star Trek Picard.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. What's it been like for you seeing the overwhelming response for season 3?
LeVar said it best the other day when we were on doing some press. We didn't dare hope for anything this exciting. We didn't dare hope to have this kind of comeback as a group, and to see how well it's been received. I mean, it's been said, but I'll say it again. A lot of the credit goes to the writing, to Terry Matalas's vision of what the story could be, and Alex Kurtzman having the guts to change gears on Picard, and Akiva Goldsman, who was running the show with him as well. These guys were visionary in terms of finding a way. As my wife said when we watched the other night, the characters have all earned their return in a way. So that the plot laid out over the 10 episodes has allowed everybody to have a real purpose, instead of sort of, as Patrick said, it's not a reunion show. It has a through line of very, very exciting, dramatic, sometimes funny, sometimes terrifying, very emotional. It's really well plotted, and I'm thrilled to be involved in it. Obviously.
Absolutely. In this past episode, when you all gathered together in the meeting room for the first time really since Nemesis, I mean, tears in our eyes, just being able to see all of you together again. And as you said, it's earned. It's the way it's structured. It's so much better than how, let's say, in some of the TNG movies where you're just all together and moving forward. Here, everybody has a piece of the puzzle. Everybody matters. Everybody has a stake, and it plays so well so that when you're all together, finally, it's so perfect and so earned.
Well, the characters have been in different places. That's the other thing. Where Riker and Troy had moved to this island to try to save their son who died, and Geordi has gone off to run the museum. Worf has changed his sort of philosophical behavior. Data we thought was dead. I mean, it has. There's been conflict in the Riker and Troy marriage. Picard was out of Starfleet. Dr. Crusher was, Doctors Without Borders in space. So everyone was off doing something different, and to bring them all back together as Terry cleverly has not only been a blast for us. We've all been friends for the 36 years anyway, but the fans have just been have embraced it in a way that we didn't, we didn't dare hope that it would be this well received.
Well, I mean, you guys are icons. A generation grew up with you, saw you every day. Sometimes more than that, families gather to watch you. We're part of your giant Star Trek family. So to see you all together means so much to us. And in season 3, you've really taken Riker to another level of emotional and character depth. I'd love to know how you were involved in crafting Riker's arc in season 3.
Terry came to me when I was directing a couple of episodes in season 2, and he said, "Are you ready to bring Riker back?" And well, I said, "Well, he was back in season 1, that story about Nepenthe, and he was back at the end of the season saving the day for Picard." But he said, "No, I mean back, like a lot of Riker." And I was intimidated and intrigued. And I said, "Sure, I'm all in." And then he took Patrick and me to lunch, and he pitched this idea that Patrick would need Riker for this clandestine mystery, to solve this mystery. But he also pitched that they would have conflicting point of views, which is something that was really rare on Next Gen. Any kind of conflict, but particularly with those two guys, where Riker supported Picard so unerringly and so constantly and with such pride, to take a different point of view, especially about family. I mean, it's Riker's lost a son, Picard has found a son, and it's very potent earth from which to grow a story. So the conflict between those two characters has been magical, and also to be in the room with Patrick acting again has been spectacular. And now that my wife, Troy, has shown back up after the conflict that we've suffered because of our son's death and being stuck at this place where neither of us really wanted to be, her entrance late in the season is so powerful, because not only has it given us a chance, to the audience a chance to see us together, she now has a major purpose in the story with Jack, as you can see. I don't know, that's about as far as we can go in terms of spoilers, but it has been, each time a new character comes out. I remember when Geordi and Data showed up, the fans went nuts. When Worf and Rafi and Worf's character, Michael Dorn's never been better in the show. There's a lot of things about the 20 years that we've had off, which has informed us as people and as actors and as characters, that has, I think, made the show significantly more layered.
And there's a lot of chatter online about an Emmy nomination for you, because everybody says, and I agree, you've never been better as Riker.
From your mouth to God's ears.
TNG was the only Star Trek series to get a Best Drama nomination back in 1994. So maybe Picard will be considered. Maybe lightning will strike twice.
Let's hope. We're doing a screening for the Television Academy of the final 2 episodes next week, I believe.
Yeah, the IMAX screening.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it would be what a great way to finish things up.
Absolutely.
Get Patrick a nomination, get the show nominated. It would be just brilliant.
Yeah, and obviously Terry Matalas, the writers and the cast have all been lobbying for a continuation, Star Trek Legacy, they're calling it on Twitter. Right. I assume if that happens, you'd be back as Riker?
In a heartbeat.
Amazing. What would you want Riker's role to be in Star Trek Legacy?
I kid, but I only half kid when I say I think it would be great if, because it feels like the legacy characters are going to, be Jerry and Rafi, and the offspring. Obviously, Geordi has 2 daughters in the show. Crusher and Picard obviously have a son. Maybe Troy and Riker's offspring show up. So I had this concept that Riker would be sort of like Charlie in Charlie's Angels, and he'd have to come to my office once a week, and I'd get to direct the show and produce the show and be part of it in that way, but not have to carry the acting part of it.
And that'll be awesome. And I assume as Admiral Riker, finally.
Yes, finally.
There is a beat. I've seen 309. I will not spoil, but there is a beat with a TNG character that you had a really amazing little recognition of this new character, of this old character coming in as Riker. where you were just like, and it plays so wonderfully based off of your history in TNG. And I just feel like the admiralcy for Riker is long overdue, just as the captaincy was so long overdue back in the day.
35 years. Well, also that was the writer's fault. I mean, they kept saying to Riker, or having Riker say, I'm seeking my own ship and I would love to become a captain. And then when the offer comes, Riker turned it down. It must have happened 2 or 3 times over the series. So it was a conflict in the writer's room that the character ended up looking a little waffly on. And then conveniently, the ships that Riker had been offered all blew up in the battle with the Borg.
So it did all work out.
It worked out.
Picard wraps up, as you said, in the last 2 episodes will be screened in IMAX. Just when we thought Picard couldn't get any bigger, literally it gets bigger. Is there anything at all you want to tease about the ending?
Nobody dies.
Wow, that is actually big. That's a big tease. Okay. I haven't seen the ending yet, but I'm dying to see how it all wraps up, because
is that fact or fiction?
What? That
nobody dies.
Oh, I don't know. You tell me. 309 is incredible, I have to say. Absolutely incredible. On June 15th, Strange New World Season 2 premieres.
Yes.
And I'm also incredibly excited about that. You are one of Season 2's directors. How many episodes have you directed?
I did 1 in Season 2, and I'm waiting for the writers to decide what they're doing before I go back and direct another one in Season 3. The one in Season 2 that I directed and this is not a spoiler, is a crossover with a couple of the actors from Lower Decks, which is, I gotta say, hysterical. It's Tony Newsom and Jack Quaid, Mariner and Boimler, come across into the world of, and they join the cast of Strange New Worlds. And it's a flat out comedy. It doesn't pretend to be anything that it's not. And as a matter of fact, I just got word that I'm going to do the Ready Room with Tawny and Jack and Dear Sweet Will on Friday to back up that. I think it's episode 7 this season, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh wow, I'm really looking forward to that. That's actually, even as much as Picard Season 3, the crossover is the Star Trek thing I'm just dying to see this year. Ever since it was announced at Comic-Con, which I was at, did my jaw drop when they were all on stage and Tawny and Jack.
Yeah, that was a smart way to do it, I think, because it's the kind of secret that I would have had trouble keeping, because I always get in trouble for revealing spoilers. And I'm glad that they have teased it out, because Lower Decks has a whole different fan base. Mm-hmm. It's that adult animated fan base, some of whom came over from Rick and Morty with Mike McMahon, some of whom have discovered the show, some of whom are the really deep inside baseball trekkers who are enjoying all the Easter eggs that are planted in Lower Decks, and kind of the blue angle that they take on the show. So it's that joining, and Anson's a wonderful comedian, Rebecca's a wonderful comedian, Ethan is hysterical in the show. It's a really good fit to see these two casts together.
I cannot wait. And Star Trek Discovery is ending in Season 5 in 2024 when that premieres. Are you directing episodes of Discovery as well?
I did the first half of the finale of Season 5, and Tunde did the second half.
Okay.
I was very sad to see that show come to an end. They're going to go up to Toronto soon, I think, and create some new material that will give the story a satisfying ending, is what I believe is happening. But that was after all the years of having done my show and the other shows and all the others, branching out and doing a lot of other directing. When I was asked to go back into this new next generation Star Trek, it started with me on Discovery in Season 1. And so that was sort of my home show, my home Star Trek show, and has very attached to the cast. And Sonequa is an astounding leader, and
I love her.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Yeah.
and Michelle Paradise has created a world that is different than any of the other Star Trek. So it's been a wonderful run, and I'm sorry to see it come to an end, but I have filled with fabulous memories from working on that show.
Yeah, I'm also very, very sad to see it end, because I love Discovery. I thought it pushed Star Trek to boundaries that we had never really seen before. And I think in time it'll get its laurels the way it really deserves. You know, just once the way Deep Space Nine, the way Voyager.
I was just about to say the same thing. The way
Yeah.
Deep Space Nine feels like it's been rediscovered.
Yes, and it feels
Yeah.
contemporary. It feels like it was shot today. It's
Yeah.
very relevant. I feel Discovery will get that also in time. But you
One
know,
hopes.
you direct Discovery, you direct Strange New Worlds, you direct Picard. You are Mr. Star Trek. I honestly believe you are the best person to direct the next Star Trek movie. What is going on with that movie?
Oh, with Star Trek 4?
Yes.
That's a really good question. I don't know much about that, but I remember a couple of years ago when Tarantino teased that he was going to direct it, which I thought was a fantastic idea. And then Noah Hawley from Fargo was attached. Another brilliant idea, brilliant writer. And the guy who was due to direct it has gone off to do Fantastic Four, I think. Right?
Yes, Matt Shackman, yes.
Yeah, Matt Chapman. And I'm not sure if they have a script, or if they had a script, or if it had a budget, or I'm not sure at what stage Star Trek 4 is. I did write an email to JJ and said, if you need an experienced white guy, I'm available. He wrote back. He wrote back, hey, you certainly. I said experienced old white guy. He said, well, you certainly are experienced. So it not for lack of asking, but I'm not sure what stage that movie is in. I love that cast. So
me too. Yeah, and I know,
man.
I know Chris Pine has gone on the record many times, and so has Zachary Quinto, that they want to come back, that they want to be Starfleet officers again and get back on the Enterprise. And it's just I just understand.
I think Carl does too. I think all of them, and Simon. It's a great cast. They just I wish I knew more, because I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of, and you know, JJ's Star Trek is what has influenced the look of Discovery and Picard and Strange New Worlds, without a doubt.
Absolutely.
The filmic cinematic approach that he has taken to Star Trek is what has influenced all of us into the current TV versions.
Absolutely. Well, Jonathan, I think I have taken up enough of your time. I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity to speak to you. This has been an honor. My mother will be very excited to see this interview, because she's had a crush on you since TNG. So she was.
Oh, John, give her my best.
I will. I will show her this.
Great. Thanks so much.
And I hope everybody who sees this interview goes to purplestride.org/Team Trek, registers and donates to Star Trek Against Pancreatic Cancer.
And the march is on April 29th.
Absolutely.
In a city near you.
I hope to see you in person at Star Trek Las Vegas.
I'll see you there.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
My pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.